Minus 35. Pause. Stop. Button. Speech off.
Well, it's 2 p.m. on the 1st of January. Happy New Year 2025 today, guys. There is a great divide happening between religious fear-mongering, or is it fear-mongering, versus non-religious. The world is still going to keep going the way it has been going for another several billion years before the sun turns into a red giant. Which way are you likely to believe? Do you believe the world is going to change in several years' time and become something different from what we know today, or is that all a big hoax? I know my opinion, but hey, everybody has their opinion that they know. So without further ado, Happy New Year's, everybody. I do hope with whatever time we've got left in this world, whether it be this life, everybody lives to a certain age, different ages for different people, that's great. Based on your paradigm and worldview, please have a decent time with whatever worldly time we've got left in this life and in this age that we currently live in. Besides my opinions, I really don't know when or if the world is going to change for the worst. Everything gets worse before it gets better, but my point is, I don't know if anything's going to change soon, or if we've got thousands of years on this earth left before human beings have to think about going extinct or going to a new planet or something. So, yeah, my view is, enjoy the time we have left. Get right with God. Do something. But please enjoy whatever time we have. Some people are saying, if you look on YouTube and read on the internet, some people are saying we've got several years left before Jesus comes back to change everything around in this planet. Other people are like, yeah, sure, it's a hoax. We have got a long time to go. So enjoy whatever time we've got on this earth. It's 2025. I'm going to do a soundscape of me making a cup of tea, microwaving some food, cooking some crumpets, all of that sort of stuff. Playing games, just an enjoyable recording. I might have to do 2 or 3 recordings because obviously I don't want to make the recordings far too long for everybody. I can theoretically make them long enough to last 3 hours, 4 hours, but that's too long. I will divide the recordings up into various sections because it's just a done thing to do now, to stop recordings getting too long. I will be finishing reading a Braille book, and because I don't want the entire recording to be fully silent, I will probably read out loud. If that's okay with people to listen to me reading out loud. If you don't want to listen, then skip forward or choose another recording, because I'm uploading some recordings today as I do them. Gacha Pets is a little bit crappy because once you run out of energy crystals, that's the end. You can't, do any more playing of the game. Which, it's stupid because when you recharge your energy, when you use an energy crystal, you get 20% of your daily energy, of your maximum energy, which I think is quite limiting. And this is why I've stopped playing Gacha Pets, because they've made it so difficult to play that, you can only play it for 10 or 15 minutes a day. Like, what's the point in playing a fucking game that is time limited to 20 minutes a day? Play for 20 minutes, whoops, you've run out of energy crystals, come back tomorrow. Or go to the daycare and keep putting your pets in there and wait for an hour. Replenish your stamina potions. Your pets will run out of them and you'll have to keep putting your pets in the daycare every 3 to 4 hours. What's the point in doing that? Like, the game developer has deliberately limited people and decided how they will play the game. And if you don't play it the way he wants it played, you know, you can't decide if you want to spend 5 minutes or 5 hours playing. The game developer has decided that. And it's like, if they're making a game where you can't decide how long you want to play for, well, frankly, that's not a game. That's just a dictatorship, and I don't get dictated online, especially during a game. Like, it's one thing for someone to say, hey, do you want to change games, play a different card game, do this, do that? But for someone to say, I've decided you're only playing the game for 10 minutes each day, if you can play longer, good luck. It's like, no. And if you're limited to just putting your pets in a daycare so that you don't use up your energy and you can't use the arena battling section very much, because in order to beat other animals, you've got to have enough strength and speed and intelligence with your, pets in your party, to get up to a certain ranking in the arena, and the only way to do that is to keep buffing up pets, and you can't do that with less energy. Like, the game isn't even challenging anymore, it's just a mess. Like, if the only reason I can't get myself to a higher ranking in the arena is because of using up all my energy and having no energy crystals and not able to replenish energy fast enough, that's not even a playable game. It's not even a challenge. It's basically, the game developer saying, hey, we're deciding who gets to win the arena challenges each day. It's like, that's not how you play a fucking game. That is not how you play a game. To have a good game, you've got all your resources available, or you've got random cards or something, and each time is different. You might have a really good hand or a crappy hand, and you're using all the resources available for playing that game, and whatever you've got, you've got. It's not a decision about, oh, by the way, if you've used up all of your energy and you're not at number one on the arena leaderboard, or you can't beat number one on the Endless Forest leaderboard because your energy is gone, well, too bad. That's definitely not a playable game. So I've given up on Gacha Pets as a result, because, I get on there and I let animals out of the daycare and put them back in with replenished potions, but I don't even buff them up anymore because the buffers, elixir buffs have stopped working. So I don't even play the game anymore because it's not playable. So yeah. That's all I've got to say regarding that. That is all I've got to say. And yesterday I fixed up my Face ID.
Pause. Stop. But pause. -5.
I set up Face ID and then I created an alternative appearance because the way I had it going wasn't working, and now it's working perfectly.
Pause. -32.231. Pause. Button. Stop. Pause. Button. -24.80.
I'm back. I just had to quickly go to the loo, so I didn't want to have any of that on recording, because just, no way. No way. Heck no. What am I going to do with this? Oh no, sandwich Chris is in the cupboard. That's right. That's right. I'm going to get something out of the freezer and microwave it. I'm going to microwave because my fridge is broken, so I can't keep much stuff in the fridge. So, yeah, it kind of pisses me off, but I don't have any other options at the moment. Okay.
Door open.
I'm gonna set this up for.
Door closed. High, medium power. Microwave. 20 minutes start. Medium power. Microwave.
There we go.
20 minutes.
That's better. I'm gonna have some iced tea, not what do you call it? A hot cup of tea, because today I am a little bit too hot, and my fridge is turned up so that the bottom shelf freezes, but the top shelf is fine. Like, that's weird. That's so weird. So the top shelf doesn't freeze up, but the bottom shelf gets frozen. So like, the fridge does not freeze evenly. I don't even want a frozen fridge. I just want the fridge to be cold evenly. You know? That's just how it is, I guess. I need something go before it goes off. Before it goes off. I'm going to have some crumpets. So the yogurt on the top shelf is not frozen, but if you put stuff on the very bottom shelf it freezes, and in the vegetable crisper the veggies freeze up too. So for the next, 2 weeks, for the next month, I can't put anything in the fridge. Yeah. I have to start slowly chucking out food that I don't need to eat. Cooking food that I can afford to salvage and eat. And yeah, everything else just needs to get slowly eaten out of the freezer until there's no food left at all. So next week I can't even spend any money on the fridge at all. The salad that I've got in the fridge is probably stuffed, I can't eat it. I love eating that salad from Aldi, but it only lasts 24 hours before I have to chuck it out. I really don't know what else to do or think. I got all my dishes done this morning, so I don't have to keep doing it. I just keep washing them up every time I use them. I wash dishes and I put them up as clean dishes on the sink. Because then I know that I've washed them. Because I'm starting to get really sick of having to do dishes every day of the week, so now I'm a bit more careful with them. I'm going to have some crumpets. Chucking the stuff out that does not need to be kept in the fridge, including pasta. That's probably no good anyway. Like I have to buy new pasta anyway. And instead of using some of it, I use a whole packet of pasta. I make a big batch of food, and anything that can be frozen goes into the freezer. That's how I work it now. Because it's New Year's Day, I'm going to have heaps of crumpets because I like New Year's, celebrate New Year's Day a little bit better than Christmas, but that's just how I am. I'm going to put some crumpets in here. Fit two in there at a time. I'm going to have lots of crumpets today. I'm going to have a lot of them because I love them so much. Okay, move the toaster out a bit. There we go. I'm having a lot of crumpets today. What am I going to have on the crumpets? Crumpets, plural actually. What am I going to have? What am I going to have? What am I going to have? Let's check the peanut butter to make sure it's actually okay. Let's have a look. Look. It may not be okay, but let's see. Let us have a look. Smells okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Alright. I believe it's okay. I believe it's okay. Leave that there in case I need it, so I'm going to open it up. because the old one's going bad now. So I'm going to open up the new one. I'm going to get some more Lurpak butter from Aldi next week because it is good butter. Lurpak is always decent butter. Very decent butter. So, put that over there. And that's the phone right there. Oh, I'm going to have a big feed for New Year's Day today, even though it's 2 o'clock. I should have eaten it. The doctor tells me I should have eaten by 8:30 this morning. She told me that weeks ago, and she'll probably tell me that on Monday. Not to change my eating habits over the holidays. To be really strict, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Frankly, don't give a tick if you want my honest opinion. I don't really give a tick. I don't care. And the other thing I'm really liking about my freezer is if there's stuff that I can leave in the fridge for 1 or 2 days, I do that. If there's other stuff that needs to be frozen and I can manage to freeze it, then yeah, I do that. I freeze it. Because that way, if there's any fridge food that if there's any fridge food that I know is going to be off in 7 or 8 days, the freezer is going to keep it going for 6 months or more, you know, more than 6 months. So that's how I work that out, because then I can get a little bit of food out knowing I'm going to eat it all, chuck out the container into the rubbish bin and not waste any of the food after I've gotten through it all and eaten it all. And yeah. This butter has a hard time melting on the crumpets. Oh no. It's a really hard time. I'll probably put too much on there, but it doesn't really matter. Really doesn't. It does when you can't get the butter to melt on the bloody things. And I've discovered that I can get heaps of takeaway food. I know I shouldn't have spent $60 on it, but the point being, I can get a lot of takeaway food, put it into the freezer immediately upon arrival at home, and I can make $60 worth of food last for 7 days. Instead of lasting for 2 days, it'll last for 7 to 10 days, which is an awful lot of time to keep takeaway food on hand. So now, whenever I can, I make sure food can be put into the freezer. I do. I didn't need the other butter, so I'm going to put it away with this butter. And I'm going to get the freezer one out of the fridge. Out of the fridge. Oh, that's chocolate. Throw that mayonnaise in the bin, it's probably going to be no good. Should put it out. If there's anything that I can't keep, I get rid of it. I ditch it straight away. I don't bother keeping it because I know I'm going to have to get new stuff in my fridge soon anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Okay. I'm going to stand up here at the bench and eat because it's just easier. It is just way easier. I don't think I cooked these crumpets good enough. Oh well. Oh well. I figured out a handy way of ditching, well, not ditching, I shouldn't say that. I figured out a way of avoiding people. Yeah, I'll come across as rude, but I figured out how to get away with it, so even if people think I'm being rude or offensive, you know, because I'm avoiding people and I need to say hello, I know how to get away with it now, so I literally don't have to say a word to someone for more than a month. I simply let people knock at the door and pretend not to be here, and I simply don't answer the phone, and I act permanently unavailable. Permanently. I'm permanently using the loo, or I'm permanently getting ready to go out. And it's, you know, a simple case of, oh hello, I'm just permanently busy, I'm never available to talk to you, I'm only ever available to permanently say hello and goodbye, and that's it forever. I now always have a permanent excuse to never permanently have to talk to anybody. Now that I've figured that out, I'm going to take advantage of how I've learned to make excuses to the fullest extent. To the fullest extent. Close that window. Closing that window because it's stupid blind. Doesn't need to be lifted up by the breeze constantly. Can't stand the blinds, they are fucking annoying. I'll get my food out of the microwave in a minute. So I've decided on the day I get my new fridge, I'm literally going to chuck everything out and just keep the butter and the milk and the cheese, but I'll literally chuck everything else out. I will literally chuck everything else away. And I'll keep butter, milk and cheese. Okay, I'm going to spread some more Vegemite on the other one. And put the Vegemite in the fridge is what I'm going to do. Well, that's that done, except for stuff in the microwave. So yeah, I have finally figured out how to permanently avoid other people. Because even if they do say you're being rude and you need to socialise, I can just say, sorry, I have permanent excuses. So, no matter what people retort back to me, like, you're just making up excuses, you're lazy, you need to socialise. Sorry, I have to go, I'm busy, bye. That's it. I'm busy. So yeah, from now on, everything about me avoiding people is permanent. Instead I can decide who I socialise with and who I don't socialise with, you know. And lately, after all the shit of having to wash a whole sink full of dishes, now I just do them every couple of meals. I may skip breakfast, but I can do lunch and breakfast dishes. And then at dinner time, I do the dinner time and afternoon tea dishes. So yeah. So yeah, I know who I like hanging out with, but it's certainly not anyone from this place. I am now permanently unavailable.
Door open.
Right.
Door closed.
I got in contact with several people on Telegram last night too, which is good news for me. Very good news for me, in fact. Because, oh no, where did my phone get to? Where is it? There. Yeah. I needed to make sure everyone was okay. I also let people know that I've got myself, I need to sit at the table now, a Braille Bible that's coming in a couple of weeks. So, as often as I can afford, I'm going to slowly make my way through getting all of the Bible, all of it. Yes, it will take time, but it is well worth the cost and the wait. Put this thing in this sink that's fully frozen, and it has to thaw out, and water is going everywhere. Water is going everywhere. So yeah, the New Testament is the cheapest, and it's only 27 books. There are like 39 or something other books to get. Yeah, so I'm going to try and get 5 to 7 books, or as many as I can afford, at a time. Like, I'll get the first 5 books of Moses, then I'll get the second lot of books, which is their, not the Septuagint, what's it called? They're in sections. You got the Pentateuch, which is the 5 books of Moses. I'm getting them first. And I'm going to get, what else am I getting? What are the next lot of books that I need to get? What are the next lot of books I need to get? What do I need to get? Anyway, I'm getting the first 5 books, and then I'm going to get another probably 3 or 4 books. And if I can get all the major prophets, like Daniel and Jeremiah, and all the minor prophets like Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, like for example, I would get Psalms, Proverbs, Psalms, Ecclesiastes, Book of Lamentations, I think all at once. I don't know. I'll see how I go. The Book of Obadiah is really short. It's only like a page, 3 Braille pages long. So I would get that along with other books. Jonah is another very short book. So I would get those mashed in with other books. Anyway, I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. Because if I get 4 or 5 books at a time, that will affect how this manufacturer divides them up into volumes. Because if I were to get all of the Old Testament all at one time, it would be their decision on how to divide the volumes. Whereas because I'm getting 3 or 4 books at a time, sometimes 5, then the decision will be made based on how many books I get, not based on the delivery of an entire Old Testament all at once. I'll be interested to know how the New Testament is divided up. Are they going to have Matthew as one volume, Mark and Luke as another volume, and John? Or are they going to sort of do Matthew and Mark as one volume, Luke and John as one volume? I don't know how they're going to do it. I do not know. And I'm getting it in grade 1 contracted US Braille because I like it better than UEB Braille. I think to keep up my skills with UEB Braille, I may get some books in Unified English Braille and some books in US Braille. But for me to read the Bible fluently, UEB is reasonable, but they've taken out some contractions in the Braille lettering. So the ABLE contraction is no longer a contraction. So BLE is just BLE. And DIS, which is a full stop contraction, is now DIS sort of thing. There's some contraction changes. So sometimes you can contract a symbol, other times you cannot contract a symbol. So I find US Braille for fluent reading easier because I was born learning US Braille. So, yeah. So I'll see what happens and I'll do a recording so that I can peruse the Braille Bible on recording. Just to go through it and muck around a bit, And I've decided, because Braille books take up so much space, that if I'm going to reread a book over and over again, I'll pick a select amount of books. For example, I'm going to read the Bible over and over again, so I'll get that in Braille. I'm going to read Harry Potter over and over again, so I have to decide, am I going to use the Kindle to read it, or am I, my Amazon Kindle app with a Braille display, or am I going to order the Harry Potter books in Braille, paper Braille? hard copy braille books take up a lot of space, so for me to take a book in permanently, I have to really want to read it over and over again every day. Like, I don't have to read it each day, and maybe I might leave it alone for several months, but is it a book I can refer back to later? So I have a cookbook that I got 2 years ago and I hardly read it, but if I need a recipe out of it right now, I'll find it in there. I'll go through it and I'll find it. Then it will be another 6 months, 12 months before I even touch the cookbook. Then when I get to it, I suddenly go, oh shit, I wanted to make that recipe because I can freeze it and then get it out and cook it later. So the cookbook that I didn't touch for months is now going to come in handy for the next 2 weeks because I can use it to make stuff that I can put straight into my deep freezer without even having to cook it. So you make stuff and then you cook it or bake it later. So make it now, bake it later. So you prepare the food, wrap it up in storage containers and cling wrap or aluminium foil, and voila, you've got your food. It's just not ready to eat yet. But you can store it for 3 months in the freezer and eat it within 3 months. So by the time I chuck everything out of my fridge, I'll have heaps of recipes in the freezer ready to make when I get a new fridge to cook up and store my new cooked goods away in my new fridge. So yeah, that's what's happening. So for a book that I hardly ever use, it's going to come in handy for a while now. Imagine if I donated it or got rid of it. And it cost me a lot of money, so I'm not getting rid of it. So I'm going to get a really big bookshelf, and I'm only going to put braille books up there that I know. I'm going to read them over and over and over again for future reference forever. The Bible's the first one. Then I have to go through books and decide again which is the next one. The cookbook that I've got will go on the bookshelf. I'll read it forever. Then there's another book, another cookbook I might buy. There's several cookbooks I need to buy. They're very valuable. I may end up getting the entire Harry Potter series just because I will read it every several years. I'll just reread it. It's a reread book. You reread it as if you're reading it for the first time, and it's rereadable without fail. You've read it 15 times, and on the 16th time it feels like you've read it for the first time and you've missed something in the book that you haven't read 15 previous times.
Speech on. -0. Pause. Stop. Button.
So anyway, I'm going to save this recording to my camera roll so I can download it to YouTube. And I'm going to do another recording. And that way, when I go to bed tonight, I can just upload all this stuff to YouTube, no problems, you know. So yeah, I'm stopping this and I'm going to do a new recording.
Stop. Button.